हम प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर नागेंद्र नारायण आज फिर लेके आगले ही है मगही पाठशाला। मगही पाठशाला में आज हमने के बीच में जे कल अपने के एक्सपर्ट हलथिन डॉक्टर बालेंदु कुमार बम्बम जी और विश्व मगही परिषद नई दिल्ली और मगध न्यूज चैनल के संयुक्त तत्वावधान में मगही पाठशाला के कार्यक्रम भिन्न भिन्न विषय पे अलग अलग विषय पे ये कार्यक्रम अपने के चल रहा है। हम बतावल चाही कि अभी तक हिंदी मगही पाठशाला में हिंदी, संस्कृत और मगही के पाठ्यक्रम में अपने के लेवल गेल हल, लेकिन कल और आज मतलब अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मगही चौपाल के 143वां और 144वां एपिसोड जे है जे अंग्रेजी के है। मगही पाठशाला में अंग्रेजी विषय के इंग्लिश विषय के कैसे बच्चा सब तैयारी करथिन, कैसे बच्चा सब अपने के पढ़ाई के स्ट्रेटजी अपनाथिन ताकि उनका अच्छा से अच्छा अंक आ सके। तो हमने के बीच में डॉक्टर बालेंदु कुमार बम्बम जी जानल मानल अपने के प्राध्यापक और लेखक हथी और हम बतावल चाही कि डॉक्टर बालेंदु कुमार बम्बम जी अपने के गया जिला के कैंट एरिया में जो डीएवी स्कूल है ओकरा में इंग्लिश के प्राध्यापक हथी और भारत के ना विश्व के जानल मानल साहित्यकार हमने सबके पुरोधा हमने के मगही विभूति मगही कोकिल स्मृति शेष जयराम सिंह जी के ज्येष्ठ पुत्र हथी और इनका बड़ा एकरा सब में रुचि रहा है। तो हम अपने के निहोरा करही आज कल जे है कल के अपने के कार्यक्रम में बतलथी हल 10वीं बोर्ड के तैयारी कैसे कैल जाओ ओकरा बारे में बतलथी कि अंग्रेजी के अपने के 3 पार्ट है, रीडिंग सेक्शन है, अपने के ग्रामर सेक्शन है और लिटरेचर सेक्शन है जेकरा में पोएट्री और स्टोरी वगैरह के है। बहुत अच्छा बतलती हल और दर्शक लोग ओकरा काफी पसंद भी करल थी। तो आज जे है अपने के 10वीं पे प्रकाश डालित 12वीं बोर्ड में इंग्लिश के का प्रारूप रहा है, कैसे प्रश्न वगैरह आवा है, कैसे तैयारी बचवन सब करे एकरा बारे में स्ट्रेटजी अपने के बतथिन। तो हम निहोरा कर रही है डॉक्टर बालेंदु कुमार बम्बम जी के कि अपने आथिन और आके आज 12वीं बोर्ड के बारे में बच्चा सबके तैयारी इंग्लिश में कैसे करे अपने बताथिन। आदरणीय डॉक्टर बालेंदु कुमार बम्बम जी अपने के निहोरा है सर।
जी 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 सबसे पहले तो
अपने तक आवाज जा रहा है?
जी आवाज क्लियर है और हमारा आवाज जा रहा है? हमारा आवाज जी जा रहा है? आवाज जा रहा है
जी निहोरा कर रही अपने के।
जी जी तो सबसे पहले तो अपने के
जी
प्रणाम।
आवाज आ रहा है लेकिन
कट कट के आ रहा है।
प्रणाम है, स्वागत है अपने के।
जी जी फर्स्टली let me also very be grateful to Professor Nagendra Narayan sir, who really provided me this international platform of Maghi Pathshala. And this very time I have come here to be equipped with the materials, the tips and techniques, how to score good marks or how to obtain good marks in the board examination, especially for class 12 students. So, am I audible or not, sir? Am I audible? Yeah. So, firstly, I would like to tell my students that those students who
go
are
ahead,
really
So firstly,
those who are really the candidates, especially for this very 2024-25 year, they will have to go through some of the things of their really materials because it is only the 2 months, approximate 2 months or less than that, it has been left for them. So how can they prepare quite well within this very limited span of time or short span of time? So firstly, it is also really divided. The question paper is also divided into 3 parts, 3 categories. First section is reading section. Second section is writing and grammar. But grammar is not in the class 12. It has been removed. So they will have to know it that only the writing section is in class 12, and third is literature section. And the marking, let me also tell you that in which way the marks will be divided, because the question will be of 80 marks. The first section is the reading section, in which two unseen passages would be there. One is analytical passage, which will be of 12 marks. Another is factual passage, the passage which is based on fact. It will be of 10 marks. The total marks of the reading section is 22. And the
Hmm.
candidates will have to go through all these things very attentively, because these passages are quite unseen. These may be from the newspaper clip or from several other magazines, not from their books, which are Flamingo and Vistas. So I think, especially for those students who want to prepare and those who are really preparing for the board examination, they must read the question paper quite well. The moment they get the question paper at the time of the examination, they must be quite cool and calm. Certainly, at that very time, if they are composed, very quiet and calm at the time of the examination, certainly the examination will be nice one. And they have also given 15 minutes time too for reading the question paper. So when they will read the question paper, they should go through the question paper with full concentration. They
Okay.
should not read it just as the bird's eye view. They should read it very deeply, and the question must be attempted having read the questions given at the last of the comprehension. So firstly, they should also read the questions. Then they should attempt to read the contents of the passages or paraphrases. It would be helpful to them. And one thing
Okay.
is that vocabulary, certainly vocabulary becomes little difficult, especially for the students. If they are not understanding the exact meaning of the word, they should read two, three lines before that and after that, and they should assume and just take out whatever really the meaning of those words may be. It is nothing else but assumption of their individual,
J.
and it differs from one person to another person. It depends on their understanding too, because it is comprehension. So the level of the students really also define to what extent they will also obtain the marks from the passages. But if they practice from the sample paper, if
J.
they really practice it 10 to 15 even from the sample papers, they will get the ideas that how to deal with all these things and how to handle or tackle the problems which come particularly in the reading section. So
Okay.
they should not be very much nervous, or they should not lose their the temperament, particularly sitting in the examination hall. They must be very much composed at that very time. Next one is the writing. It plays a very vital role in scoring good marks, because this very writing section, if there would be grammar, then it would be a scoring, little scoring. But writing section demands their very appropriate format, all the formats of the writing section, whether it is notice, invitation, because four types of really the things come in the writing section. Short, really writing, which is of 50 words, it is notice and invitation.
J.
and it consists of 4 marks each. Means uh, 4 invitation and uh, notice. Later on, it is article or report writing.
Okay.
Another one is informal letter, job application.
Okay.
So job application, article, and report writing. And they will be given extra question because all the questions will have or and or. So they will have the options to choose which is to be attempted. So if the question seems little difficult to them, they can also ask the another question. So
Hmm.
many really options are given. So it becomes really little booklet, the question paper. It seems to us when we just really make the question paper, we feel that it is really a little booklet, but they should not be disappointed having seen the very thickness of the question paper.
Right.
And uh, and article and report writing, I would suggest them to write the article because if they write the article, they may write it very easily. Although article writing is not an easy task, but
Hmm.
report writing they don't know, and when they know it, sometimes they really commit mistakes in the writing section. So it would be better for them if they attempt article because it is only divided into 3 parts. One is introduction,
Hmm.
second is content body, and third is the conclusion. They can they can conclude very easily what is really the thing or topic it is written about. So firstly, if they write in their own words too, the examiners will award very good marks. If
Okay.
if there is correction, grammatically corrected part, if it is written by the student, yes, sir. Another
Okay.
one is another one is job application, which is very very useful. It is
So, what about the parameters and performa for the job
uh,
profile? Yeah,
I'm going to explain it.
sir, sir.
So it is just like a formal letter. As we write the sender's address, date, receiver's address, subject, and the content, and last the subscription, yours truly, obediently, whatever they write. And after
Ji.
that, a biodata or resume or vitae, whatever it is really called, all the three things are the same, whether it is biodata, resume, or vitae. Only the words are different. Same thing is it. And in the biodata, they will have to attach the biodata at last after writing an application.
Right.
When they will write an application, after that they will have to write in the biodata their name, uh, especially some of the things are there: nationality, marital status, which is really relevant, religion, educational qualification, etc. So many things are there
Ji.
in the biodata in the resume, and I think that in the sample paper, almost all the things are uh, collected and given. It can really help them. One thing also is there that proficiency and experience should not be left. If they write all these things, their marital status or the religion or name, address, whatever it may be, but proficiency in the languages and
Ji.
experience, these two things really count so much regarding the biodata. So it should be
Okay.
also uh, including the educational qualifications from which university or universities they have got or obtained their degree. So it must be also
Okay.
really mentioned in the application. So it would be also of 120 to 150 words, and it is of 5 marks. Article is also 5 marks. So if they practice all these things from any authentic sample paper, certainly they will acquire, they will get very good marks, no doubt.
Hmm.
And the last and the I think that the major portion because
Ji.
if just I divide the marks, 22 marks for the reading section, two
22 for
passages,
the reading section. Okay.
22 for the reading section,
Hmm.
18 for the 18, 1 8, 18 for
Okay.
the 18 for the writing section,
Right.
and 40 for the literature.
Okay.
40 for the
So
literature.
40
So
for the
50,
literature.
40 for the literature.
Right.
So
So
roughly,
20,
mm,
22 plus 18.
22 plus 18, 40.
40. Ah.
Uh, 40 it is literature, especially for literature.
Okay. So
So
total
40
80 marks.
total 80 marks. And
Right.
in 20 is it is for ASL and the
Hmm.
internal assessment.
Internal assessment. Okay.
These marks are really given on the really performance of the student at a school or the school which are concerned.
Okay.
Uh, the principal or the concerned teacher, they have to just award these marks at the time after the examination. They send from their own school, respective school.
Okay. Okay.
So the ASL, assessment
So
of a speaking and listening test.
so 20
ASL,
plus 80. 20 plus 80 is the combination, right?
80 board examination and
Right.
20 a school
Yeah,
gives
from
the
school.
very best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Out of 100, it is really counted and calculated.
So passing marks include both, sir? 20 plus
Um,
80?
yeah, yes, both. It is very vital thing. That's why
Right.
they should. That's why they should be very much disciplined at a school. Their
Okay.
behavior is also their discipline, a speaking
Mm-hmm.
test and listening test too. All components, all these things really consist of 20 marks, which is really very crucial, especially for the students, because the
Okay.
school
So what about the passing marks? Passing marks, sir? Minimum passing marks?
33% of the 100, so it is 33 passing marks.
43.
Uh,
So
uh,
a student will, a school will awarding 20. So if any student
yes,
got 20 marks in a school, so need 13 marks to be passed in out of 80, right?
out of 80, it is very easy
Oh,
to pass.
okay,
It is
okay, okay, okay.
it is very easy to pass. But a school
Right.
cannot but a school cannot award 20 marks to those
Ah,
students who are not really disciplined, who are not
okay,
really fulfilling the decorum of a student, who are not
okay,
abiding
okay.
by the rules of the school. If they are really
Right.
very much, certainly they will be awarded 20 marks. Even they are average, they will be given
Mhm.
20 marks.
Okay, okay, good.
Very easy
So
for them. It's easy for them
there
to
is
pass.
very easy pattern.
Uh, it's
Okay,
very easy to pass in English, but it is very difficult situation for them to score good marks, more than 90. So
okay,
for
okay.
for those students, they will have to just perspire and do hard labor to obtain more than 90% marks.
Right.
So we see and we try our best, and we also motivate the students that you can do because so many students get more than 90% marks. Why not you? You can also do by your perseverance, hard labor, and routine work. If you are routine, if you are uh, thought yourself that I have or we have to do something better in the examination, I would suggest them to make a routine before the examination. And if they are really stuck to the routine,
Hmm.
it will be fruitful. It will be quite fruitful, very prolific, especially in the scoring very good marks. So
Okay.
In literature, I would like to also say something that almost all the chapters, because they have very little time, they have no really much time left. So it would be better that if they prepare themselves, particularly literature, because literature is also taught at a school.
Okay.
It is
So what about the sir? What about the component of the literature? Same type of same like 10th, like poetry and a story, and there is some
uh,
little bit change.
same thing. Only drama, as dramas, fiction, and poetry section, all these three things were in the class 10. Similar is the thing in the class 12. Only the
Okay.
standard of fiction or the poem, it is really
Mm-hmm.
advanced. Mm, it is
Okay.
advanced.
Right.
So some of the poems which are really composed by some of the really great writers as Pablo Neruda, Keeping Quiet,
Hmm.
John Keats, A Thing of Beauty is Joy Forever, and Aunt Jennifer's Tigers by Andrene Rich, the great feminist. So all these really pieces of the literature, especially in the poetry section, wonderful.
J.
All
Hmm.
pieces are very wonderful, no doubt. And uh, I would like to tell them that in which way you can obtain good marks out of literature.
Right, sir.
How
Very good. Excellent. Excellent, sir. So
how can you achieve?
this is our motive also, so that a student will make some strategic plan to achieve more
Exactly.
marks in upcoming exams. And see, whatever the tips you will share here, that will not only valid for English. I think
Mm.
if that strategy may be to be adopted in another subject also. Right.
That's true.
Okay, sir. Sir, please.
In literature, they must really go through the summary of the chapters because they don't have time to read the text.
Okay.
If they go through the text this very time, they
Mm-hmm.
will consume much more time, particularly in this thing. So it would be
Right.
better to go through the summaries. All the
Mm-hmm.
summaries of daily things must be in the mind because
Hmm.
of particularly if the really things and content of the fiction will not be in the mind of the student, certainly
Hmm.
they will lack so many things.
Right.
So better to summarize all these things. They have
Hmm.
time. If they
Hmm.
read any, certainly they should write one summary
Hmm.
from the book or from the internet. In which way, if they can write themselves too on their own, they can also write. But almost all the key points must be there. Everything, whatever the main line or main theme of really the chapter must be taken, and it must be taken in such a way that certainly at the time of examination, these things will help or certainly help at the time of writing the answer. If they are forgetting even the answer, what will be the
Right.
answer of this? And if they have gone through the summary, certainly they will be able to write some content and they will be awarded marks in that very answer, particular answer.
Okay.
So summary is the best thing. And the revision of the answers, not the chapters, not the text. I am not going to tell about the text. Revision of the chapters
Hmm.
must be done, by the student. And any sample paper, one or two,
Hmm.
whatever it is available in the market, if they do exercise or if they practice from the sample paper, almost all the things, whether it is the reading section, writing section, or literature, it will be very helpful. It will be quite beneficial regarding the mark creating preparation, and certainly they will be benefited. So after that, one thing is also after the summary, whatever the extract main lines of the poem, because 5 or 6 poems are only there in the class 12, not more than that.
Okay. 5 to 6
Uh,
poem only.
only nothing. not much really difficult for them to go through all these poems. Fiction, fiction may be little difficult because it is very large. Some of the really chapters are very vast and large chapters. They cannot go through very easily. But as far as poetry section is concerned, they can take all the poems line by line. They must read line by line, and they think about those daily lines in which way the teacher or teachers have taught them, or if they are also facing trouble, several things are available on the net. They can take help. And literary devices, figures of a speech, rhyming a scheme, or the other things related to the poetry section, it is not so
Hmm.
difficult. It is not so difficult to just remember and to pay attention to. So it would be better for them to revise all the poems with full concentration, and
जी.
they will score very good marks, no doubt. Another one, another one. I think that after the extract, particularly in the extract section, because extract will be extract also plays very vital role.
Right.
And 6 plus 4, such type of really the situation of the thing. I
Hmm.
find that if they read the lines of the fiction and the poetry, almost all the poems in the poetry section, it will be quite helpful to them because these extracts, one is asked from the one is taken from the poetry section, another one is taken from the fiction from
Hmm.
Flamingo, one from taken from the Stars, another book. So they have to they have to answer 4 extracts, and 4 extracts plays a very very vital role. I think that it is not less than 16 marks, particularly extracts. If they are very good at their subject, if they are very good at really the chapters even, poetry section certainly really pushed them, propel them in grabbing and obtaining very good marks. So after that, the short questions they will have to write 5 questions out of 6, uh, and all these questions carry 2 marks, 5 into 2. So
जी.
it will contain and two long answers. Two long answers are also there. One from Flamingo, one from the Star, and it consists 5 marks. Sometimes really it is also really given from I think that the Stars or but really both of the books only 2 marks is lessened. 2 or 3 marks is from the Flamingo,
Hmm.
and 2 marks less, particularly in Vistas. But both of the books are very important for them. So long answers and short answers, extract, all these things are in the literature. And I think
Right.
if they will read the literature and do practice within the time frame, whatever it is given and it is allotted to the students, because they don't have much time. So why don't they come directly to the answers, either in the
Hmm.
sample or on the net or NCRT app? They should read and read again and again so that they can achieve good marks. So it depends on
Okay.
the very routine work too. To
Hmm.
what extent they are very adhered or stuck to the very routine, it will also help them. It is not so difficult for them to obtain high marks, but they must be attentive. They must be at that very time think themselves that it is not very unit examination or term examination. Rather, it is the board examination, and it should be taken seriously by them.
जी.
I think that it is sufficient for them to go through all these things, and If there is any question or any query, I am here to just tell something.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Dr. Balendu Kumar Bambam ji. You have explained very nicely. Yeah, our national, international presidents have already joined here. So we welcome ग- um, भारत ना विश्व के जानल मानल साहित्यकार हथिन आदरणीय लालमणि विक्रांत जी शेखपुरा जिला से
Yes,
जुड़ गेल है और विश्व मगही
okay,
परिषद के अंतर्राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष थी। अपने के बहुत बहुत हम स्वागत करिए लालमणि जी।
जी।
और जी और बालेंदु जी आपने बहुत ही यू हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड वेरी नाइसली बट माय रिक्वेस्ट इज इफ यू हैव सम सैंपल पेपर्स फॉर एग्जांपल
Mhm.
you have already stated reading, so can you give
Right.
reading is also 22 marks, right? So can you explain some sample paper going through the reading part, and what about the different type of typology of the questions, how a student will answer that particular question, try to attempt that question. So
Okay.
that will be, we are hoping that that will be
No,
much more beneficial for our aspirants.
okay. Firstly, I read
Ji,
one
बहुत ही-
paragraph.
if
Uh,
you are comfortable then ji,
I have my book here, sample paper.
okay,
I, I,
okay,
read,
thank you.
I read only one paragraph, and
Right, sir.
out of one paragraph, I will raise some questions in which way they should really reply to these questions. In which way
Right,
they
sir.
should reply to these
Ji,
questions.
ji, ji.
It is based on Maharana Pratap.
Maharana Pratap, okay.
Maharana Pratap ruled over Mewar only for
Hmm.
25 years.
Ji.
However, he accomplished so much grandeur during his reign that his glory surpassed the boundaries of countries and time, turning him into an immortal personality.
Immortal
He
personal,
alone
yeah.
became a synonym for valor, sacrifice, and patriotism. Mewar
Mm-hmm.
had been a detached kingdom even before Maharana Pratap occupied the throne. Kings of Mewar, with the cooperation of their nobles and subjects, had
Hmm.
established such traditions in the kingdom as,
Right.
as augmented their magnificence despite the hurdles of having a smaller area under their command and less population.
Hmm.
It come a few thorny occasions when the flag of the kingdom seemed sliding down.
Hmm.
Their flag once again heaved high in the sky thanks to gallantry and brilliance of the people of Mewar. Now I
Right.
read out of this paragraph.
Hmm.
First question is
Hmm.
Mahabharata became immortal because this type of
Because
question is
because
MCQ. Four
okay,
options I four options I will give.
because its activity goes beyond the boundary, beyond the boundary. I mean,
No, almost all the things are in the very passage.
okay,
Almost all
okay,
the things
already given.
already given.
Right, right,
They
sir.
haven't to they haven't to think much more out of the passage. They
Okay,
have to
okay,
go very attentively. If they will
right,
go through the passage with full concentration, they will be able to reply the questions answers quite well. So
okay.
Maharana, the first question is Maharana Pratap became immortal because four options. A.
Hmm.
He ruled Mewar for 25 years. He
Hmm.
added a lot of grandeur to Mewar.
Hmm.
C. Of his valor, sacrifice, and patriotism. D. Both B and C. B and C means
Both B and
he added,
C.
he added a lot of grandeur to Mewar. And C.
Yes.
Of his sacrifice and patriotism.
Yes.
So it is natural that it is D, both B and C.
Right, sir.
One,
Okay,
one
okay,
thing
okay.
I would also like to mention here that
Hmm.
if you, I am telling the students, if you find
Hmm.
four options and one of the options is if it is both or all of
Hmm.
these, if they are not even understanding the passage, certainly
Hmm.
the answer is that particular B and C, like, or all of these. Such type of really
Okay.
the answers always I have found that it is correct
Hmm.
answer.
Correct
If
answer.
they
Okay.
don't know at all, then, but if they know, they can really do it very accurately. The second
Hmm.
question is the second question, which is also based on MCQ. Such type
Okay.
of question, MCQs, six questions are given there, very easy.
MCQ. J
MCQ.
J.
Difficulties in the way of Mewar were four options: lack of cooperation of the nobility, ancient traditions of the kingdom,
Hmm.
C. It's a small area and a small population, D. The poverty of the subject. And here it is C. It's a small area and a small population.
Okay.
Yes, Mewar was lucky because four options, all of its rulers were competent, most of its people were competent,
Hmm.
C. Most of its rulers were competent, and D. Only a few of its people were incompetent. And it the right answer, just you have to find. And what will be the right answer? It is very easy. Mewar was lucky because most of its rulers were competent, all of its rulers were competent, most of its people were competent, only a
Hmm.
few of its people were incompetent. Most of
Okay.
its people were competent.
Right.
Another one, another one, most of the rulers were competent.
Hmm.
Which which would be better?
That
Then
will be better. Okay.
better would be most of its rulers
So
were competent because what will the subject do only? If the rulers
this 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 mean that some question may be having some appropriate and near answer, right?
are near, and it also depends on your IQ, intelligence,
Okay. Yes.
intelligence you have close answers will be given there. Even some
Good.
of the teachers become very much confused, which is the right answer.
Ah,
But
right.
if we read the very question very well, or
Hmm.
thinking that I have to select out of the closest answer, you will
J
find the
J.
right. So this was one of the things. And some of these questions are objective. You have to write in one sentence or two sentences. It
Right.
is like
J.
another
Okay.
thing.
So J. Tell me, sir.
uh, Another thing. They should also really pay attention to the limitation of the words, as I also told yesterday. They
Okay.
don't.
Yes.
They don't manage the time management. They write whatever the answer, whatever the question they understand that it is the very right answer, very good answer, good question. I will write the answer to this very question very well.
Hmm.
If it 50 words, if they have to write within 50 words, they will write in 100 words or more than 100 words.
Okay.
Unnecessarily, they waste their time, and not only it hurdles one question answer, because the examiner will also deduct the mark because you have exceeded the limitation of the word. And
J.
secondly, you cannot write all the questions because within 3 hours you have to write all these questions and you don't have time to write the left questions. Some of the questions will be left. They cannot attempt some of the questions due to the lack of the time management. So
J.
they should not exceed the word limitation. It is also very much needed or required. So it is also very crucial for any. Yes,
That's good,
any
sir.
of
Very nice. You have explained very nicely. So we are hoping that the student who is watching presently and will watch later on much more be beneficial after this strategic planning. G.
definitely so. Mm. Or
Okay. So
uh,
in reading section, how many paragraph will come? Only one
if
or more?
No, no more. Two, three paragraphs remain there, not only one.
Okay, 2 to 3
Uh,
paragraph.
it consists of two or three paragraphs.
And one paragraph consists how much question? How many
Uh,
question?
depends. It depends on the examiners. Maybe that if the paragraph is not very much truthful to them, if they think
Right.
that I haven't to really ask any question out of this very paragraph, it is
Hmm.
there like, but at least one or two question will be from that very paragraph.
Okay.
Two, three, yeah,
So
maybe
if
from
any student will, a student will just practice 2 to 3 paragraphs question answer. So that a
okay,
student will go through in the examination and try to solve the question easily, I think.
very easy, very easy.
Okay,
They
okay.
must go through all these things and they must practice from the sample papers.
Can you
And
also elaborate some other parts, sir, with some example like reading section?
reading section, as I also told you yesterday, sir, perhaps I think that it would be better to reiterate that very thing too in this very episode too, uh,
Right.
particularly 12 students, that
Okay.
some of the things, because these things just I have to tell them only for this short span of time. How can they do better in reading section?
Hmm.
So there is no any shortcut way. In spite of that,
Right.
if they if they really do something as I suggest, they
Hmm.
must set some factual paragraph and some analytical paragraph, and they must understand the difference between the two. What
Hmm.
are the analytical paragraphs and what are the factual paragraphs? Much more helpful, I think that they will also get themselves by their own if they practice all these things very very minutely, and if they observe the things in which way the questions are asked, if they also do the practice previous question papers, board examination, really whatever the board examination recently it happened, it was done, the previous question papers are also quite helpful to them. Why don't they do? Answers are also available. Answers
Ji.
of the questions are also available in sample papers. So
Okay.
they should go through the sample papers, especially the reading section, and they should also really know it how the answers are written, because answers are
Right.
also given. If they practice by this very thing, through this very thing, again and
Ji.
again, this four
Hmm.
or five previous years question papers, I think that they will understand quite well, and it would be
Hmm.
quite good for them to obtain good marks.
Okay. Right, sir.
Uh,
So,
and
as per your, as you are suggesting to the students that as per the questions typology and as per the marks allotted for the question, a student will write according to the particular that thing. For example, if 2 marks questions, just 2 line or 3 lines, I think that is enough.
now, maximum.
Yeah, and
If
for objective and fill up the blanks type of question, just one word or whatever the suitable words and part of the lines that be useful for that question, right, sir?
right,
Okay,
and I think
good,
that
good.
sir is also available here, and
Yes.
particularly in his subject too. In his
Uh-huh.
subject, such type of the things would be also there if the students are not knowing the exact answer, and if it is objective, they have to write one or two lines. They
Okay.
can write in three or four lines or five lines. The marks will
Uh-huh.
be given. Marks will be given.
Yes.
No
Yes.
doubt.
Yes. Yeah, you are
So
right,
this,
sir. So you have explained the reading section, and what about the other? Can you elaborate through some examples like literature part as that having more marks, 40 marks?
Okay, I take one example from the literature too,
Yes,
and
yes,
how
yes.
how can they write? Firstly, I read the lines of the poems, and
Okay.
and and then they will really do this very thing. As the first question is, the first poem is
जी.
my mother at 66.
हाँ, my.
My my mother at 66. The first
Okay.
poem is written by Kamla Das
जी,
and
जी, कमला.
Kamla Das, and she feels
जी,
very much perturbed or embarrassed having seen her mother, and
okay.
her mother's age is, as the title it is also really tells that
Hmm.
my mother at 66.
Hmm.
When the mother at 66, it
जी.
tells it tells about the very close
Hmm.
relation, the strong bonding between a daughter and mother.
Hmm.
And the mother has become quite old, and having seen the face of the old mother, she becomes very much painful. Her heart, her heart is filled with so many really things, miseries and suffering, because she thinks that if I will go, she has to go coaching, and she thinks that if I will go there, whether I will see the my mother's really face once again smiling or not, it is not really known to me. So
जी.
I read four or five lines of the poem, and then I will raise the questions out of it. Driving from my parents' home, driving my driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me,
जी. जी.
closed, open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought again. She is in the car, she is going in her own car, and the mother is sitting beside her, and
Hmm.
the mother's mouth is opened as it happens in the very old age. If someone, just as we see the very old age, really the old people open their mouth and there is problem or obstruction in the respiratory system. So
जी.
uh, such type of imagery has been created here. Yes, the BIM
Okay.
that image has been created having seen the very face of the mother and
जी.
driving from the parent home. He is driving from the parent home and going to a coaching, a place coaching. Last Friday morning, I saw my mother. The poet has seen the very face of the mother who is sitting beside her in the car. Doze. She was dozing. She was napping. She was sleeping because it is also really the characteristic of an old person.
Hmm.
They seem to us very sleepy always, whether they sleep or not, but they seem to us sleepy.
जी.
So those open mouthed, her face ashen like that, and her face is ashen. As from S, the adjective has really made of out of S. It means very pale, lifeless.
Hmm.
There is no life at all on the very face. And she seems to her that she is going to die very soon, and she is very much doubtful whether she would see her mother alive or not when she will return from Cochin or from that very place
Hmm.
where she was going.
जी.
The last thing is the the face is also like what of a corpse, dead body. The face is as bad as a dead body. It is like a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. Really, she has become very old,
Hmm.
and there is also similarly, she is as old as she was, but soon put that thought away. But this very pain, which was in the very heart of the poet, she left that very thought because she doesn't like at that very time, or she didn't like to
Hmm.
remain such type of pain forever. She wanted to come out of this very pain. That's
Hmm.
why she also watches the sprinting trees and running boys or moving boys from the houses, which is a strong contrast. Here, the mother's face is just like the dead person, SN and
Hmm.
fail. And the
Hmm.
and really when she was going in the car, trees were running, and the small children were also moving from their houses. So there is a strong contrast, and she finds pleasure in watching the movement of the children and running of the trees. So she relaxes at that very time, having seen that.
Hmm.
So so many questions may be really raised as where is the poet at present? The poet is
Okay.
in the car going to
Hmm.
coaching.
Hmm.
Second one is how does the poet describe her mother? The poet has described her mother in a very sorrowful manner because she knew that her mother would not remain alive when she would return from that very place. छोटा छोटा
Okay.
question है.
A
Third
small
is
questions. Yes.
very small to objective question. Who does
Ji.
she refer to? Who does she refer to? She is referred to the mother, old mother.
Hmm.
What that she driven away? She has put her thought away or driven away the old age and the very sick mother who was in the car. She doesn't like to see the face of the mother again and again because it makes her painful, it makes her sad. So these are
Okay.
really the questions. These are the questions from this side.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You have explained very nicely all the parts. So we are hoping that the students who is appearing for the particular examination will go
Mm,
through and make the particular strategy to achieve more marks in upcoming examination. Dr. Balendu Kumar Bambamji has explained very nicely about all the sections and part. Of the English subject in Maghi Pathshala, right? So now I would like to request our international president of Bisw Magahi Parishad, Dr. Lalmani Vikrant ji, to
mm,
address and giving thanks to our guest Dr. Balendu Kumar Bambam ji for addressing the 2 day session International Maghi Chopal 143 and 144 yesterday and today. Uh, yeah, I would like to request you, Lalmani Bikranji.
अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महासचिव प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर नागेंद्र नारायण जी और अधिकार मुख्य अतिथि डॉक्टर बालेंदु कुमार बम्बम जी, कल भी हम सुन रहा हल
जी
कि 10वां क्लास के लड़कन के
हाँ
अंग्रेजी में अधिक से अधिक नंबर कैसे आवे,
कैसे आवे बिल्कुल
90 प्लस के बात कर रहा हल बम्बम जी। और आज भी हम सुन रहा हल शुरू से, हमारा सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगल। ऐसने सब टीचर विद्यार्थी के हृदय में सब दिन ले निवास करे,
बिल्कुल
ई रूप में हम बम्बम जी के पहलों और कतना सहज भाव से और कतना सहज ढंग से अपन बात के रखलखिन।
जी
अगर टीचर क्लास में ऐसने हो जात कि विद्यार्थी उनकर बात के आसानी से समझ ले, सहज संप्रेषण के भाव होवे,
जी
तो फिर नंबर के की बात। नंबर तो 90 प्लस आसाने पड़त, 95 प्लस 98 और 100 भी आ जात।
बिल्कुल
दोसर बात जो हम देखलो इनकर विचार में, इनकर भाषा में जो उच्चारण बोध है, ओकरो बढ़िया भाव है आजकल के शिक्षक में।
बिल्कुल
इस रूप में भी बालेंदु जी के हम अंग्रेजी के एक अच्छा शिक्षक के रूप में मान रही है। इनका परिचय ले कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि हम मगही कोकिल के नाम लो, कोई जरूरी नहीं।
जी जी
स्वयं में काफी हथिन अपन परिचय ले, एक अंग्रेजी शिक्षक के रूप।
बिल्कुल।
और ऐसे में सब शिक्षक पर गर्व और गौरव कर रहे विद्यार्थी। ये बात के हम करीब से अनुभव कैलों है। अभी घर पर ही हम विद्यार्थी लोग के पता चलल है, वो मिले ला आबत रहे हत, हम उनका नहीं चिन्ह, वे चिन्हत हमरा।
जी जी।
ऐसे शिक्षक हत हमारे बम बम भाई
जी।
जिंदगी इनका ऐसे बम बम कही रहते। हमारी शुभकामना है इनका और खाली विद्यार्थी ना है, शिक्षक के भी इनका हम एक वीडियो है वो हम भेज रहा हैं।
जी।
हम कई स्कूल के डायरेक्टर के भेजलो हैं वीडियो। इधर क्लास में का चलावो, विद्यार्थी के दिखावो। ये कार्यक्रम विश्वमुखी परिषद बुतरुए सब में चला रहे हैं। केवल मगध के बुतरू शिक्षा जगत में नाम करे, अधिक से अधिक नंबर लावे, हमार यो लक्ष्य है। खाली मगही पाठशाला चलवे के लक्ष्य हमार नहीं है। हमार लक्ष्य विश्वमुखी परिषद के मगध के शिक्षा और संस्कृति और समाज के सर्वांगीण विकास, बहुआयामी विकास भी है।
बिल्कुल।
वही क्रम में मगही पाठशाला का आयोजन चल रहे हैं। कुछ विषय के हो रहे हैं और बाकी विषय के चयन रहते। इंजीनियरिंग के भी बात अगर उठते।
बिल्कुल।
ऐसा नहीं कि खाली 10th और 12th के बात है, बाद वाला क्लास के भी बात है। धीरे धीरे
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
एक विस्तार होता है।
हाँ।
हमारी योजना में ये है।
जी जी।
हम बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दे ही विश्वमुखी परिषद तरफ से आज के मुख्य अतिथि डॉक्टर बालेंदु कुमार बम जी के, और हम आभार व्यक्त कर रही कि ऐसा विद्वान शिक्षक अंग्रेजी के जो हमार कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित होलन, विश्वमुखी परिषद के आग्रह के स्वीकार कैलन और हमारे मंच के गौरव बढ़ेलन। इनकर हम आभार व्यक्त कर रही है और शुभकामना दे है कि शिक्षा जगत में इनका नाम रोशन ऐसे होबत रहे या आगे बढ़त रहे। जय मगध, जय मगधी, जय विश्वमुखी परिषद।
नतमस्तक अपने के बहुत
बहुत
आभार
जी।
बहुत अच्छा लगा
जी। बहुत बहुत आभार आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय जी। अपने बहुत बढ़िया हौसला अफजाई कर लथी हमने सबके। और बालेंदु जी तो बहुत उम्दा किस्म के अपने के प्राध्यापक हथी, शिक्षक हथी और अच्छा से एक्सप्लेन कर लथी। तो अब हम चलते चलते अपने से निहोरा करल चाह भाई डॉक्टर बालेंदु जी कि अपने चलते चलते कुछ मोटिवेशनल लास्ट में ही अपने के मगही पाठशाला के प्रारूप है जे रहा थिन वक्ता चलते चलते बच्चा सबके बचवन सबके मोटिवेट करा थी। जी।
तो once again I would like to suggest them, especially the candidates, that they must revise all the really things what they have read. They must take any sample paper and whatever the reading section, writing section or literature, almost all the questions must be really revised or practiced in such a way that they imbibe almost all the things in the very mind. They must keep all these things in the very mind. They should remain quite calm and composed, as I always tell, that in the examination hall they should be quite cool and calm, and they should also read the papers very attentively, and
जी जी।
they should also write the questions systematically. If they systematize their really answers in a proper way, if they express their answers or present their answers in a proper way, certainly they will achieve or they will obtain very good marks, no doubt. So best wishes for the aspirants, the candidates of the class 12 board, and especially I am very grateful to both of you. Firstly, Professor Dr. Nagendra Narayan sir and Sri Lal Mani Vikrant sir, particularly who is a fatherly figure to me. Really, I
यस, यस,
respect and trust the
बिल्कुल,
seat
बिल्कुल।
as, as I am very far away from you, sir. But I trust your feet and bless me, please. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Thank
धन्यवाद।
you. So, thank you very much, Dr. Balendu Kumar Bambam ji and International President विश्व मगही परिषद लालमणि विक्रांत जी। हम बतावल चाहिए बालेंदु जी और अध्यक्ष जी के भी कि 4 सब्जेक्ट के अभी तक कार्यक्रम हो गई है। हिंदी के तो इनॉग्रल मगही पाठशाला के शुरुआते हमारे अध्यक्ष जी कर लथी हल हिंदी से, चूंकि हिंदी के
जी
हिंदी और मगही के जानल मानल साहित्यकार हथिन। संस्कृत के अपने के बतलथी हल
हाँ हाँ
दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट में संस्कृत के शिक्षक हथिन और वो भी हिंदी और मगही के बहुत बड़गो अपने के साहित्यकार हथिन। डॉक्टर सत्येंद्र सत्यार्थी जी मगध पुत्र ही हथी और
समझो
अपने के मगही के लगभग 4 दिन चलल हल 8 एपिसोड। तो ओकरा में डॉक्टर दिलीप कुमार जी जे अपने के विभागाध्यक्ष हथिन मगही विभाग में पीएन के कॉलेज अछुआ में, तो उनकर होलई। और फिर चौथा सब्जेक्ट जो है अंग्रेजी के होलई। तो इस सब में एक नोट करके हम जे भी बच्चा अपने के चाहे वो 10वीं के बोर्ड देता थी, 12वीं के बोर्ड देता थी, कोई कंपटीशन के तैयारी करी थी, इंजीनियरिंग के जैसा अध्यक्ष जी बदल थी, इंजीनियरिंग के करी थी, आर्किटेक्चर के करी थी, मेडिकल के करी थी, कोई भी कंपटीशन के भी तैयारी करी थी। तो हम 10 गो टिप्स एकरा में हम अपने के 4 दिन के 4 सब्जेक्ट के प्रोग्राम के अपने के हम समराइज करी थी। जेकर हम नाम दिलिए है कि द वे टू बी ए टॉपर, मतलब कैसे कोई विद्यार्थी टॉपर हो सकल, टॉपर कैसे हो सकल है। तो पहला अपने के है कि अपने जे बतल थी कि कोई भी जैसे सब्जेक्ट है ओकरा में पहले तो फोकस बहुत ज्यादा करे पड़त। ओकरा में फोकस ऑफ
जी
फोकस एंड क्लैरिटी ऑफ थॉट्स, जो भी मतलब सब्जेक्ट हम पढ़ रहे वो फोकस एंड क्लैरिटी ऑफ सब्जेक्ट हमरा होवे के चाहिए कि हम का पढ़ रहा हूँ, अंग्रेजी पढ़ रहा हूँ तो ओकर का प्रारूप है, कैसे का है। दूसरा है स्ट्रेटजिक प्लानिंग। तो
जी
स्ट्रेटजिक
जी
प्लानिंग में स्ट्रेटजिक प्लानिंग में है जैसे आपने बतल थी कि अंग्रेजी में 3 गो पार्ट हुआ है, 22 नंबर के, 18 नंबर के और 40 नंबर के। तो पहला में रीडिंग सेक्शन है,
जी
फिर दूसरा, फिर तीसरा। तो ओकरा में काका कंटेंट से एकरा स्ट्रेटजिक प्लान बना के कि हमरा कैसे प्रैक्टिस करे के चाहिए एकरा भाई। तीसरा होला अपने के सेल्फ ऑनेस्टी और सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन, मतलब कोई भी हम काम करी थी तो ईमानदारी से करे के चाहिए और डिसिप्लिन वे में अपना पढ़ाई करा। काहे से कि स्व अध्याय सबसे बड़को अस्त्र शस्त्र है अपने के विद्यार्थी ला या केकरो ला। हम सब भी विद्यार्थी ही थोड़ा सीनियर ही है। लर्निंग तो कभी भी हो सकल है। तो सेल्फ मतलब एक अपना जे भी काम करी था हो ओकरा में ईमानदारी बरत हो और डिसिप्लिन अपने के बहुत जरूरी है। चौथा अपने के है शॉर्ट एंड रियलिस्टिक गोल। जैसे अब हम अपने के जैसे कोई भी चीज करी थी तो ओकरा में ये टारगेट बनाला कि हमरा भाई 95% लावेला है। एकर मतलब है कि 95% सब जितना भी 5 या 6 सब्जेक्ट है उस सब में लावे पड़त, तबे ना एवरेज 95 होवत।
जी जी
और अगर कोई में कम आवित है तब प्लान बनावा कि जैसे अंग्रेजी है तो अंग्रेजी में हम 98% ला दूं, 100 मार्क्स ला दूं। तो
जी
एवरेज अपने के प्लानिंग बनावे पड़त। तो ओकरा कैसे गोल बनाबू ई विद्यार्थी के कंसिस्टेंसी अपने के कोई भी चीज करी थी तो ओकरा नियमित करना पड़त, मतलब कोई भी एकदम कंसिस्टेंट हमरा होवे
एकदम
पड़त कि हमरा ये हमरा मैथ्स के बनाना है। अब मैथ्स के है तो ओकरा में फार्मूला सारा याद करे के चाहिए जे भी है। अलजाब्रिक
बिल्कुल
इक्वेशंस याद करना है। अब बच्चा के जैसे ट्रिगोनोमेट्री के हम क्वेश्चंस जे देखा ही है तो ओकरा में अपने के ए जैसे ट्रिगोनोमेट्री है तो ओकरा में बहुत से क्वेश्चन फार्मूला बेस्ड रहा है। जैसे ए
जी
स्क्वायर माइनस बी स्क्वायर इक्वल टू ए प्लस बी इंटू ए माइनस बी। ई फार्मूला पे बहुत क्वेश्चन रहा है अपने के। अब ए प्लस बी होल स्क्वायर, ए माइनस बी होल स्क्वायर, ए प्लस बी होल क्यू, ए माइनस बी होल क्यू। तो ई तरह से फार्मूला इस सारा प्रैक्टिस में होए के चाहिए। छठा सेक्रीफाइस अपने के करे पड़त। जे भी विद्यार्थी हत, जे भी कंपटीशन के तैयारी करी था, 10वीं बोर्ड 12वीं बोर्ड, तो जे मनोरंजन के चीज जे तोरा डिस्टरबेंस करी थे, अब जैसे अभी हमरा जो ऑब्जर्वेशन है, मोबाइल सबसे बड़का अपने के सेक्रीफाइस करे वाला चीज है विद्यार्थी ला। काहे
जी
कि मोबाइल पे बच्चा सबके अपने के एक बार बजलन वो बजित चल जलन, मतलब वो अपने के कंटिन्यूअल प्रोसेस है। तो
जी जी
सेक्रीफाइस करे पड़त। अभी फोकस
जी
करो, विद्यार्थी के जीवन तपस्वी जीवन हुआ है, तो
बिल्कुल
तपस्या
बिल्कुल
करेला मतलब विद्यार्थी जीवन तपस्वी जीवन है। और जैसे ऋषि मुनि हमने के जंगल में जाके एकांत में अपने के तपस्या कर रहल थी, तो वैसी
जी
तपस्या विद्यार्थी के भी करे के चाहिए। एकांत में खूब पढ़, स्ट्रेटजी बनावत जे भी है। ओकरा
बिल्कुल
बाद अपने बतल थी हार्ड वर्क मतलब स्मार्ट वर्क जे भी एक करे पड़ता हो। रीडिंग जैसे मान ले कि 3 गो अगर रीडिंग सेक्शन में आवे है पैराग्राफ, तो 3 कम से कम 5 गुना तो पढ़बहु ना, जे या जे सिलेबस में है वो तो कम से कम पढ़बहु। सिलेबस वाला से ही जीना आता है। तो
जी
सिलेबस वाला में मान ले कि 5 गो 6 गो जे भी दिल है, तो ओकरा हार्ड वर्क कर। 8वां सीक्रेटिव, मतलब कोई भी चीज प्लान बनावी था कि हमरा अच्छा नंबर लाना है, 95% या 98%, तो कैसे उस सब चीज के सीक्रेट रखे के चाहिए। सीक्रेटिव मतलब है कि हाँ हमरा ई प्लानिंग है और ऐसे हम स्ट्रेटजी करके हम इतना नाम नंबर लाए। तो ये बहुत बढ़िया है। ओकरा बाद 9वां जो है सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, जे आजकल के विद्यार्थी के सर सबसे बड़ा डेविएशन करा है। मतलब का हुआ है कि जैसे अंग्रेजी के है, तो अंग्रेजी के अपने के जो टेक्स्ट बुक है ओकरा भी पढ़ लेलन, कोई और
जी
किताब मिल गेल तो ओकरा भी मिल गेल। आजकल मार्केट में जो है ना एक से एक किताब आयल है। 75 दिन में तैयारी करला, 30 दिन में तैयारी करला, 50 दिन में तैयारी करला, 60 दिन में तैयारी करला। तो हम
जी जी
सजेशन लेवल चाहे कि मिनिमम बुक्स एंड टीचर। अभी ना कि अंग्रेजी जैसे बालेंदु सर से भी पढ़ ले ली, और दूसरा कोई मिल गलन तो उनका से सर एकर का आंसर होए। एक पे ट्रस्ट करके, मतलब
जी
मिनिमम कांटेक्ट होवे के चाहे किताब से, और मिनिमम कांटेक्ट होवे के चाहे टीचर से। मतलब एक से बढ़िया से पढ़, आ फिर ओकरा अपने के पूरा अथी करला। और 10वां जे अपने बतलती सर, हर दोनों सेशन में बतलती आज भी और कल भी, रिवाइज रिविजन कर, बार बार रिविजन कर, लिख लिख पढ़ गुण कि कैसे हम ओकरा कर सकली है। क्रैमिंग करे के जरूरी ना है, मतलब प्रैक्टिस। तो इनसे 10 गो जे पॉइंट है, ये अगर कोई भी चाहे वो प्रतियोगी परीक्षा के तैयारी करत होवत, या 10वां के या 12वां के या कोई भी, ये अपने
बिल्कुल
के
बिल्कुल
10 पॉइंट है, 10 गो जो
जी
टिप्स है, ये अपने के सब लोग ला बड़ी ब्रह्मास्त्र के काम करत। तो यही है अपने के अपने बहुत समय दिल थी 2 दिन, और आवे वाला समय में अपने के अगर कोई और एक्सपर्टीज होते ही, तो विश्व मगही परिषद ये अपना ही के है। ये मगध चैनल पे 7 से 8 हमेशा मगही पाठशाला के कार्यक्रम चला है। और अपने के मगही पाठशाला तो हमर तो यही है कि मगही हमर हर जगह रहे,
जी
ठीक है।
जी
और ई मंच से हम अपने के और बड़ा हम प्रसन्न मन में प्रसन्नता हुअल, प्रसन्न मन से अपने के हम बतावल चाही कि विश्व मगही परिषद 2 गो न्यूज़पेपर भी लायल है, अपने के मगही टाइम्स और मगही संवाद। और आज आज से 2 गो और एडिशन हो जाए, मगही वाणी और मगही देववाणी। मगही वाणी मगही में न्यूज़पेपर आवत विश्व मगही परिषद के, और मगही देववाणी संस्कृत में न्यूज़पेपर आवत अपने के
और
विश्व मगही परिषद के। तो ई 2 गो के जोड़ी मतलब 4 गो न्यूज़पेपर 4 भाषा में, अंग्रेजी, इंग्लिश, हिंदी, मगही, संस्कृत, 4 भाषा में अपने के हो जाए। तो अपने के बहुत बहुत हम एक बार फिर से विश्व मगही
जी
परिषद परिवार के तरफ से और मगध न्यूज चैनल के तरफ से अपने के बहुत बहुत आभार अभिव्यक्ति कर रही है कि अपना बहुमूल्य समय दिल थी। और हमरा उम्मीद है कि जे भी बच्चन ई चैनल के जे देखी थी वो भी, और जे बाद में देखता थी उनकरा भी अपने के बहुत अच्छा स्ट्रेटेजिक बना के अच्छा मार्क्स लावे के प्रयास जरूर करता थी, हमरा ऐसा उम्मीद है। तो एक बार फिर से बहुत बहुत आभार। जय मगध, जय मगही, जय विश्व मगही परिषद, जय विश्व मगही परिषद।